What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So, Salman, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is always colourful. He always has a lot to say. What do you make of his recent comments that Joshua can't be regarded as the best unless he beats me and Deontay Wilder? What do you make of those comments by Tyson?
I agree.
Tyson Fury.
I agree. I think obviously he needs to, although he has a good resume, but he's not going to be considered the best until he beats those two, in my opinion. Anyway.
Do you think he has to beat Wilder as well?
Yeah. Because, there's a lot of people think Wilder can beat him. So I think, he needs to beat Wilder, to then be, to be unanimously the best guy.
So do you think if he beats Fury, just say he will be the number one heavyweight in the world? Yeah. There's no doubt about it. If Fury beat Wilder.
Yeah.
But do you think it's a case where he'll have to beat Wilder, or now people think Wilder's not that good anyway, or how do you see it?
He'll be the number one heavyweight in the world if he beats Fury.
Yeah,
100%. But
yeah,
Wilder will obviously be his next toughest test, in my opinion. I don't think anyone else troubles him apart from those two. I think Joshua will beat everyone else. The only guys I think that can give him problem or give him a hard fight is Wilder or Fury. I think he'll be able to beat all the rest, because I just think people say Usyk, but I just think he's too big, and he knows how to use his size as well. So I don't think he'll be able.
So what's it about Wilder? A lot of people don't think Wilder
punch
has
power. He's got
that right hand, that Alabama slammer.
He's got the punch power, and a lot of people want to see that fight because of the style. They're both big punchers. Someone's getting knocked out in that fight. That's not going 12 rounds, no chance, because one of them's going to catch each other and they're going to go. So personally, I wanted to see the Joshua Wilder fight first before Fury. I think Joshua Wilder stylistically, and I think it does more numbers than Fury Wilder as well. Because
you reckon?
Yeah, the reason why I reckon 100%, because Joshua Wilder is a guaranteed knockout, and it's a way bigger fight than Fury Wilder.
Fury Wilder or Fury Joshua?
Fury Wilder. I'm talking Joshua Wilder on a global scale would have been a bigger fight than Fury versus Wilder.
Yeah, but what about Fury Joshua?
Fury Joshua is also a massive fight. That's a huge fight, especially in the UK. But at that point, I'm talking to you about when Fury wasn't obviously in the picture.
I think it'd be a damn shame if Wilder Joshua never happens.
Oh yeah, no, that has to happen. To be honest, look, at the end of the day, they were going back and forth, but Wilder just needs to take the fight now. He just needs to take the fight. He came out and he's admittedly opened that I got a better offer to fight Joshua, but I fought Fury instead. So that goes to show where his mindset is. Joshua will fight Wilder, no problem. Joshua will also fight Fury. But the problem is here, is he even going to come through Fury to get to Wilder? And that's a stiff test to come through Fury.
Yeah. That's the only issue I have.
Is he going to beat Fury twice?
The problem I have is that I personally think Fury is going to beat Joshua, and I reckon that Wilder fight could evaporate, because if Joshua loses, is his hunger going to be there? He's not going to be champion. Maybe they would, because the fight would still sell it and it'd still be huge. But if Joshua takes another L, how big is the Wilder? Wilder's lost to Fury. Joshua's lost. You see, that fight it was ready. That time, that would have been a huge fight. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, whether you want to blame Wilder, whether you want to blame whoever, the fact of the matter is that the fight never happened, and we got robbed as fans, because that was an epic fight. That would have been, in my opinion, for me, that was stylistically a better fight than Fury Joshua.
Way better. If that fight doesn't happen, that's a shame, man, because that fight would have been like a proper shootout, man. That's a proper shootout, because someone's getting knocked out in that fight, 100%.
I actually think Wilder has a good chance of beating AJ as well. I think Wilder could knock him out.
Could do.
And I think AJ could knock him out. I think that's a fight that needs to happen eventually. I would love to see that. I think even if AJ loses twice, I don't think he should finish his career without not fighting Wilder. They need to come. Maybe now it'd be easier because both of them have got losses. So they won't be, and both of them have made a lot of money as well. So maybe now they'll be a bit more, like they both be reasonable and just get the fight on, because I think Wilder knows that he's no longer champion. Joshua's no longer champion. I think Wilder, in order to get back into that contention, and especially he hasn't fought for a long time, he needs a big win. He needs to fight like a Dillian Whyte and put in a performance for people to take him seriously, because right now we just don't know what Wilder's got left. What was Wilder? How has he been?
We definitely need to see that fight. That fight can't go. In my opinion, Joshua versus Wilder is massive. That's absolutely huge. Wherever it happens, UK, Wembley, Saudi Arabia, it's just a massive fight, and it's a stylistically so good fight. I want to see that fight. I want to see that fight. I actually want to see that fight more than I want to do Fury Joshua, because of the style. That fight, Wilder Joshua, is the most exciting heavyweight fight
that can
ever be made. Because
not ever.
I would say so, and I think it will do the most numbers in this day and age, 100%. I have
my doubts about that now. I don't think now. I think before it would have been massive. I think if they were both still champions undefeated, Wilder had beaten Fury, and Joshua had not lost, taking that L against Ruiz. I reckon it would have been massive, and that was the time to make it. But unfortunately, they didn't make it, and this is what happens in boxing, because both those guys were vulnerable. Wilder wasn't a great boxer. Joshua, we knew that could be hit and hurt. He could be hurt, and unfortunately, they both took L's. But Joshua got back onto the horse. Wilder right now is not fought since then, and we don't know how.
The thing is with Wilder now, he's not even taken that immediate rematch. So you got to realize he's completely out of the picture. It would have been a bit like AJ if he didn't beat Ruiz the second time.
Yeah, but we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on with that. There's a lot of things.
At the moment, Wilder's irrelevant. Like, no one's talking about him. He's in the dark now. That second fight with Fury's not happening. That third fight, sorry.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That he needs to fight like a Dillian Whyte.
I think he's going to go to the wayside personally now. He's 35 years old. He might even call it a day before he even fights Joshua.
I don't think so. I think he's gonna have a tune-up fight, and then I actually think this is either gonna make Wilder two things. He's either gonna go down the wayside, like you said, or Wilder's gonna get himself into gear and say, you know what, I've lost. I need to fight all the big names now. I want to fight Dillian Whyte. I want to fight everybody. Forget it. No more messing around. No more of that. I want to fight.
But the thing is with Wilder, from his career thus far, is he going to just be in the mindset where, all right, cool, I'm just going to, I'm going to fight these risky fights. If I lose, I lose.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to.
Because before
he's not champion now.
From his prior career, before he fought Fury, he didn't really have that mindset where I want to fight the best. He fought Fury, but then his resume before that's really poor.
Yeah, I know. But
let's see if he.
What I'm saying, you don't understand what I'm saying. Now he's lost. He knows that he needs to get back on it. Otherwise, there's guys that are left, the guys that have overtaken.
Because I'm hearing a lot of news that he's going to be fighting Adam Kownacki. And I don't think that's a fight. I think he splatters Adam Kownacki.
Yeah, but listen, he's not going to fight someone. He's going to fight Adam Kownacki. That's not a bad fight, comeback fight, to be honest with you, Kownacki. And then if he beats Kownacki, then we're talking about... Yeah, but then we're talking about a Dillian Whyte. We're talking about someone like that.
I think his next fight should be a Dillian Whyte or Andy Ruiz.
I don't think his next... I think, yeah, they're the two fights that I think he should consider straight after he has Kownacki. He needs a warm-up fight. You can't, after a loss like that to Fury, then go straight into Whyte or Ruiz, because those fights are too big. He needs to get his mind back. We need to see him again. He fights after that, then we're talking about, then he needs to jump into a super fight with either Ruiz or Whyte. Whyte would be a massive fight here in the UK. That could sell out probably 60, 70,000, no problem. Right?
I want to see if he actually takes these fights. I'm not going to give him credit until he actually starts taking these fights. When he takes these fights and he shows me that, listen, he's willing to take the fight, then I'll give him the credit. But for now, he's not. He's just, I don't know what he's doing. If I can see that, all right, he's fighting Ruiz or Dillian Whyte, I'll actually give the guy the credit, man.
But I actually think the thing is, the reason why Wilder needs to, because he's 35. He's not getting any younger. He needs to build up that resume, man.
As soon as he gets another 2 years old, people are going to just start saying he's too old anyways.
But so what I will say about that, Deontay Wilder is all power. It's the right hand.
Yeah, it's
the right hand. He's got pure power. And Wilder, although he'll get slower, you see your reflex and everything, even throwing the right hand, it's not as fast.
Is he even training now? What's he doing?
I reckon he's training. I think they've got Konaki probably, like you said, lined up, or someone, or maybe a Hellenius or whatever, lined up. And then after that, I think Wilder's just going to say, you know what, make the biggest fights out there. I need to get, because listen.
But I would say if he was to lose to someone like at a lower level, like a Konaki or Hellenius, if that was to happen, he'll probably retire then.
But I don't see him losing those fights. I personally think if I was Wilder after Konaki, I'd go for Dillian White, not Ruiz. I think Ruiz is a more difficult fight. I think Dillian White, although Dillian White's a good fighter and stuff, I think Dillian White's style will play into Wilder's hands a lot more. And Dillian White also, for me, has shown signs of vulnerability of late. Like, you know, he's more vulnerable than Ruiz. Ruiz has showed that he's got a granite chin, whereas obviously we've seen White knocked out, you know, brutally twice, and he's been put down several times as well. So, and with Wilder's power, you know, it's definitely going to think. But then having said that, White brings a lot of aggression. He brings power himself, that left hook, and he's tough and he walks you down. White's not. Listen, I would favor Wilder in that fight, but again, White's no gimme. So, but I would just say out of the two, I think Wilder should go for White than Ruiz. I think that fight might be in the UK might be massive. Plus White, I think the pay-per-view numbers would be crazy for Wilder White. I think it would sell out a stadium, no problem. And I think it would, by the time the fight comes around, the fight will be even bigger, because I think White and Wilder would get into, you know, serious arguments. You know, the press conference for that would be epic. That's what my take on that, to be honest.
I just hope that these fights happen. I hope he doesn't just think that, I'm going to retire, because if he retires and that goes, let's see.
He won't retire. Wilder's not retiring, no way. But leave your thoughts.
I think there's too much money on the table for him to retire.
Yeah, there's too much. There's big money to be made. There's a Joshua fight that could be massive. There's a White. Remember, Joshua would want to fight Wilder. Even if he loses, he may want to fight Wilder, because he knows.
Yeah, but Joshua always wanted to fight Wilder, because that was his last belt. He wanted to collect the last belt, but he just couldn't negotiate. Obviously, negotiations.
It was difficult.
I just hope this Fury fight ends up happening. I don't want this to not happen, because then this is another mega fight we want to see. You know, at least if we see one, you know, at least one's happened. But I want to see Wilder against Joshua. It has to happen. It has to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether they both lose, it doesn't matter. That has to happen. You know,
yeah, hopefully,
because we want to see who the second best heavyweight in the world is. If Fury beats Joshua twice, I want to see who the second best heavyweight in the world is.
Let's see. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.